Henry? Are you right? We're fine, Flutters. Never better, said Henry. You sure, you six? You look like you haven't slept well. We're fine, Percy. Never better. Never better. Sure. But Pinky and the others were right. Thomas and the others, had mostly, their eyes were wide open, as if they hadn't slept well. Well. Are you six alright? That's what we told them. That's what we all told the guys when they came back to the sheds last night. You should have seen them girls. One second they were sitting on the main line, the next they were screaming louder than their own whistles. And you girls should have seen them. One second they were on the main line, the next they were screaming louder than their whistles. They hadn't told us much, just said that they saw something. Twilight and the others didn't know what was wrong with Thomas and the others. Thomas and the others said they were fine, but I think we all know what. But between you and me, but with all of us, but I think we know what happened, don't you? But for those who don't know, we're going to have a little recap of what happened. Thomas and the others were bringing their last trains home for the day. Hey, their story still crept in their minds. What if Caden is right? Get it together, everyone. Caden's just trying to scare us. He's usually always try to do that. We were then stopped by a signal. Okay, boys, just take it easy. Our crew will be back, and we'll be on our way soon. And before we know it, we'll be back in our nice, warm. Oh! Stupid bird, go away! We're losing it, dudes. The fog in that dang story is just getting to our smoke box. Sir is kind of right. The fog in that dang story is just getting to our smoke box. There's no such thing as the half engine. There's no such. It wasn't until then we could all hear a noise. An odd, shrieking noise. Who's there? There was no reply. The shrieking only continued to get louder and louder, yet no one was there. Then, right out of the corner of Thomas and the other's eye, came the source of the shrieking. It was a deranged tank engine that thundered round the bend, wailing and screaming as if she had experienced the most awful pain imaginable. Then, as the engine peered through the fog, Thomas and the others could see that the engine's face only covered half of her smoke box. But their wails of fear were drowned by the screeching engine as she flew towards Thomas and the others with a maddening, angry look. And just as quick as she arrived, she disappeared right before touching Thomas and the others' buffers.
Gordon!
Our crews came back.
Gordon!
Our crews came back to us upon hearing our cries. Upon hearing their cries.
Gordon, are you okay? What happened?
Avenging. Caden was right. Caden was right. Caden was right. Caden was right. Caden was right.
The train express coach was torn in your eyes. Question. His put it.
We left our trains on. We were uncoupled from our trains and headed back to the shed Caden and Sonic, Sonia, and Manic were there. You saw her, did you? Yes, we did. I did try to warn you all. Guess you can consider yourself lucky tonight. No one ever comes back from an encounter with her. Thomas and the others stayed up for a while that night. They were still deeply disturbed over what they had seen. If there was one thing they could be thankful for, however, it would be that the half-engine didn't claim them as her newest victims. If there was one thing they could be thankful for, it would be that the half-engine didn't claim them as her newest victims. It would be that the half-engine didn't claim them as her newest victims. It would be that the half-engine didn't claim them as her newest victims. It would be that the half-engine didn't claim them as her newest victims. Now that you're all caught up, we can continue. Ever since that scary night, Thomas and the others have been flinching at every sound they hear. But I'm sure Thomas and the others are just trying to keep on their guard. Can't sleep, half-engine will get us. 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 Well. Dale? Us. Well, they seem like they could use some rest and have their minds eased. And Pinky was right. Thomas and the others looked like they hadn't slept a wink since that night. and they awoken even to the most smallest things. And Thomas and the others refused to do their night jobs. None of them wanted to be out while the half engine was about. I think you should have to take the mail train, Thomas. Me? No. Edward should do it. I'm not setting one wheel out there in the dark. Hark. I can't take the flying kipper. You should take it. And I'm not setting one wheel out there. And me pulling the express and you taking the flying kipper? I'm not setting one wheel out there in the dark. Ark, said Gordon. Ark. It's with the... We can't work at night now, Caden. We can't work at night now, Caden. Are they being serious? They're afraid now. Because they know every night. Because they know the half engine is about, said Caden. They're afraid now because the half engine is about, said Caden. They're afraid now because the half engine is about. How? Well, who wouldn't? Well, who wouldn't? Said Henry. And. Well, who wouldn't? And how about us? We didn't even know her or know she existed. And we didn't even plan on mocking her or bullying her or making fun of her. Take it easy, you six. Rainbow didn't believe. Gordon explained all this to Rainbow. You were kept up by that ghost of Caden's story?
Stop.
You were kept up. Were you really kept up because of that ghost, Gordon? Because
Really?
of that? You really kept that scared? Heard of that half engine, G?
Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow didn't believe anything Gordon said one bit. Rainbow Dash didn't believe anything Gordon said one bit, and believed that the big express engine was out of his mind. And Rainbow Dash didn't believe any part of the story one bit, and believed that the big express engine was out of his mind. Gordon explained all of this to Rainbow. Rainbow Dash didn't believe one part of the story one bit, and believed that the class A1 class express engine was out of his mind, and that the A1 class express engine was out of his mind, and that he had only saw something out of his imagination. Meanwhile, Gordon explained all this to Rainbow. Rainbow Dash didn't believe one part of the story one bit, and believed that the Gresley A1 Pacific, and believed that the Gresley A. Rainbow Dash didn't believe one part of the story one bit, and believed that the Gresley A1 Pacific was out of his mind, and that the Gresley A1 Pacific, and that the Gresley A1 Pacific, and that the Gresley A1 class Pacific was out of his mind, and that he had only saw something out of his imagination. Some of the girls didn't believe one part of the story, one didn't think one of part thinks so. Such of the story one bit. The girls kind of didn't know what to believe of the story one bit, and believed that the E2, the K2, the Black 5, the Grizzly A1 Pacific, the LNYR Class 28, and the Avonside saddle tank engine were out of their minds, and that they had only saw something out of their imagination. And that they had only saw some others didn't believe the story one bit, and believed that the E2 class tank engine, the K2 furnace, the K2 tender engine, the Black 5, the Grizzly A1 Pacific, the LNYR Class 28 tender engine, and the Avonside saddle tank engine were out of their minds, and that they had only saw something out of their imagination, and that they had only saw something out of their imagination, Shen. The girls kind of don't know what happened with Thomas and the others. There's on that night. But between you and me. And I think, but we know what happened with them on that night. But we know what happened on that night. But we know what happened to them with them on that night. And we all know what happened. We all know what happened. Don't we? But we all know what happened on that night. Even when they come, but even when it goes down, Thomas and the others are swift and quick to get back to their shed. They didn't want to be out when the half engine was out. They didn't want to be out when the half engine was about. When the half engine was about.